Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rothberg on the glorious
Wednesday afternoon. This will be out today. Will be Thursday for you all. Please follow the podcast. Go subscribe on YouTube. Again, follow on Twitter and Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE podcast. Also on TikTok. We appreciate everybody's support. I actually have some shout outs we need to make. First, the audience. We do this from time to time. Just kind of shout out the areas that we see most downloads or just different areas of the country. But so I did top 5 states again. It's always fun that are downloading the HIT.OR.DIE podcast. At number 5 was Oregon, Washington 4, Massachusetts 3, Nevada 2, and Cali always number 1. And always fun to see in Cali who's listening and where the top downloads are coming from. This was interesting. Did you see the list? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts before we divulge the list?
I guess I'm disappointed.
Maybe
in the Central Valley.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Hey, the numbers are still fine, so we'll take it. But Cali at number 10, going 2-1. Baco, Dinuba, Reedley, Madera, and then Los Angeles, Yorba Linda at 5. San Francisco 4. San Francisco is 5. San Jose 4. Clovis 3. Sacramento 2. We always love the Sac peeps. It's crazy. Although they didn't make their. Well, we'll get into it. And then Fresno always leading the charge at number 1. So thank all you guys for supporting us, downloading, subscribing on YouTube, watching and listening. We really do appreciate that. Speaking of that and the audience. Got to shout out a young man that I got to meet at the state game last week on a Friday, Noah Gonzalez. It was a pleasure meeting his dad. Robert saw me in the dugout club, and we chatted for a little bit, and then got to take a picture with him. It was a cool place for the Visalia Wildcats travel team. And I think, looking at Instagram, just celebrated a birthday yesterday, I think. Happy birthday. It was a pleasure meeting him and his family, so that was cool. And got to shout out our guy, Marcus Walden. Went to Indy Ball. How long was he gone? He wasn't even gone, but 2 weeks, if that.
It might have been 3 weeks because there was a lot of stuff that went down. Like he was originally picked up by somebody, and then there was just miscommunication between
a couple
the
teams.
Organization and the affiliated organization. So there's 2 teams interested. They both went after him, but only one of those teams was talking to him and his agent. So they signed with that team, but not knowing the other team as actually the one that signed him through the organization.
Did it the right way.
And then he's just like, wait, no, I want to go here. And then the team he wanted to go to found out that the other team took his rights or whatever, so they went and got somebody else. And by the time Marcus that got everything situated, the team that he wanted to go to, when he went to try to go back, they already went and got somebody else. I'm not going to say the teams, but then not even a week later, he gets picked up by the Seattle Mariners. And he wasn't even going to go to Indy Ball. He was still throwing here in Fresno, throwing pins. He threw a couple innings. He goes out to some of the high school practices and stuff. So, he was starting. He hasn't started in a long time, and he was doing really well in Indy Ball, and got picked up by the Seattle Mariners. And then his first outing was against fellow Grizzly
alumni
Colton Eastman.
I wonder how often that actually happens. Like high school, this has got to be really rare.
Yeah, I mean,
like college, I would probably more likely.
Well, I don't know how many.
I mean, you look at like Fresno State with Carr and Hainer both on the Saints. Like that's something that doesn't typically happen. You have 2 guys that played at the same high school, and at not just any level, at AAA, squaring off against each other. That's got to be super rare.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think college definitely would probably be. You'd see that maybe more so than you would 2 guys that went to the same high school. But congrats to Marcus. We talked a little bit when he has some time, he'll probably come on here and give us the lowdown. If not, at least y'all know he's with Tacoma right now. So congrats to him. Before we get into some high school stuff, though, Big Roth, I wanted to talk a little MLB. And it's a week old. I know we were caught up in the high school stuff the last episode, and those that are not from our area, again, we appreciate you guys listening to that one. But Aaron Judge last week, like the craze was this peak, this little glance. And I mean, like they played in slow-mo, which is kind of irritating because in slow-mo, it seems a little bit, a second and a half maybe. So in real time, it's almost nothing. But the announcer's questioning maybe what he was looking at. What were I just wanted your take on it because we didn't talk about it. It happened, I think, the day we recorded, actually.
Yeah. I don't really see anything wrong with it. Whether the pitcher's tipping pitches and, he's looking at the first base coach or looking in the dugout, don't tip your pitches. We do it at the high school level. We try to have, if our first base coach sees signs from the catcher, we're going to relay them to the hitters. So,
is that cheating?
It's not cheating. No, it's you're getting an advantage. Cheating would be looking at the catcher, giving signs, or having an intercom in his helmet of the catcher, knowing what's coming. That's cheating.
Like a certain JUCO in the East Coast, Florida.
I saw that, and the coach retired right after.
I resigned.
I don't even know he knew.
I mean,
I don't know. I didn't read it.
It was. Yeah.
Or maybe he did, and he's just like, I gotta resign before.
He resigned. He didn't fight it, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. But I hear what you're saying. I don't. It's an old. That's just baseball. That's been going on for decades.
Yeah. No, not cheating. Now, I mean, if you ask a lot of hitters, some hitters won't. I mean, we've had this conversation so many times. Some hitters don't want to know what's coming, but I did. I mean, if I pick something or you pick something and you're like, hey, I got his pitches, look over here if I'm waving at you, or which that's kind of weird though, is like he's looking at something and not a verbal, because normally it's a verbal. But
his response was that there was chatter in the dugout, and that's kind of why.
That's a lie.
That's why there was commotion in the,
because it wasn't just that one at bat.
No, it wasn't.
It was multiple at
and
bats.
it happened, I think, a couple pitches too.
Yeah.
But still, like, here's the thing.
And then he hits a home run. So
yeah, but
why everybody's saying something.
You go look at that at bat. He got 3 straight sliders.
Yeah.
And he hung the third. The one he hit out was.
He hung the. Yeah.
That's his. That's where he does damage. So
it's not like he's a 200 hitter.
And the catcher sets up late, so he's not looking at the catcher, and his hands are kind of in line of sight to the catcher. I don't know if it's tipping pitches, then figure it out. Like that's on Toronto.
I think I heard that pitcher even said that he was tipping his pitches.
And the manager, his response after was kind of the same thing. Like, oh, we got to address some issues. I mean, it happened in the playoffs a couple of years ago with Tampa. I think Houston picked something on McClanahan or I forget who it was, but the same. I mean, that's just the part of baseball. Like you said, it's down into the high school levels. We do the same thing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Every team, even travel ball, they're looking to pick signs. It's not new strategy to the game.
You're trying to get an advantage, and it's just you're picking apart something the other team's giving you. And that's just part of the game. Like I said, cheating is a camera in center field. Cheating, that's why I don't even think the trash can's cheating if you tip from there. But if you're on a computer looking at stuff, knowing that's different. I'm talking about just picking in general the pitcher or catcher giving something away. That's not cheating.
I mean, using a form of tech in any way to me is cheating. Yeah. How the Astros relate it, I mean, it's still. Listen,
we still don't know what happened.
We do. We do. It was cheating. But, like, hitting is already hard. Okay? So, like, even if these guys are tipping pitches and like, it's still hard to hit 93, 94, 100 miles an hour. And you don't know location. Like, these guys aren't. The control's not. The command's not the best.
Yeah, but I'm batting at least 50 to 100 points higher if I'm knowing what's coming.
You think so?
Yes. Location doesn't matter.
But like Lappin, Brian Lappin,
He doesn't want it.
He doesn't want to know.
Yeah.
So he may not feel that comfortable knowing. Like,
yeah, I do. You tell me, I don't care. You tell me slider. I don't care where the slider is. I'll look for the slider in the zone. Like that. The location doesn't bother me.
well, but you can see where it starts, right?
Yeah.
You can read spin it where it starts, and you know, well, this is not going to stay in the zone. You can spit on it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about location. You give me the pitch, I get my timing down. That's all that matters.
Right. So in other words, it was a big nothing sandwich.
Yes. Big nothing.
Okay. Just making sure. The other thing is, as June's coming, so the MLB draft is approaching quickly, and I saw a story this morning, and listen, I'm not a fan of like the verbiage, and again, it's to get readers, and honestly, it is, if you go read it, it's very interesting to go through the entire list. But again, MLB draft is coming in June. The article was worst number one picks in MLB history, which I don't like that, because who is the guy that writes that's never sniffed these guys' you know what I mean? You never get there. But these are the guys.
I would love to be the worst number one pick in the history of the draft.
Right?
MLB.
There was one on the list that had like a 13-year career, won a World Series.
That's what I'm saying.
But wasn't a Hall of Famer. I think that's what they're alluding to, because the question was asked.
You ask anybody, they would love to be the number one pick and never make it. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the dumbest.
The article came via, what was it? It's Stadium Talk is where it was. That's who the website was, is the source of the article. And it said, since the MLB began drafting amateur players in 1965, only 3 have gone from being selected number 1 to the Hall of Fame. And I just killed it for you. I was going to ask. That was the question.
Say it again, because I was watching this.
So, Chad, if you're not, for those watching and listening, on Chad's laptop is his alma mater, ORU, in their conference tournament, winning. It was how many number 1 picks have become Hall of Famers?
3.
Dumbass. I can't believe I wrote it that way. But yeah, three MLB first round or first. The number 1 pick of the draft became Hall of Famers.
But that's how hard it is.
Yeah.
Like that's how hard baseball is. That's how much you don't even know about a person, about a player, about their development. I mean, that's why it's so hard to be a scout, to be, somebody that puts all this on a player or a kid when you don't even know what they're going to become, and I mean, that's not a lot. And there's probably 30 rounds or higher, there might be more Hall of Famer. You don't know. It's just, that's what I'm saying. Baseball is such a weird sport that guys can get lost in it and guys can thrive in it.
Hey, you've seen guys picked late that go on and have long careers and success and all-stars and
Piazza.
Right.
Hall of
Famers.
He's the one I think of the most, just because he was like the last round back in the day. 60th round by the Dodgers. So, and that was a favor, and that favor turned into a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no kidding. The 3 MLB players that were drafted 1 overall that became Hall of Famers was Harold Baines, Ken Griffey Jr., and Chipper Jones.
And Harold Baines he just got in via the other selection, right? The
committee?
Yeah.
I believe it was, yeah. But there, and again, that's so from that same time span, the NFL has produced how many Hall of Famers you think that were number 1 draft picks in the NFL from 1965?
0.
It was 9.
9, really?
So it's not like it's easy. You know what I mean? It's to your point, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
How many number 1 draft picks in the NFL have we seen recently kind of be busts?
A lot.
NBA, same time span. Number 1 overall picks that became Hall of Famers. So you got 3 for MLB, 9 for the NFL.
What's this time span? How long?
It says 1965.
Oh, shit.
Number 1 overall picks that became Hall of Famers, NBA draft.
10.
Close. It was 14.
14.
So I just thought.
So baseball is the hardest sport.
You can argue that. You can absolutely argue. And again, there are some players in our area, again, Central California area, is where we are. I'm not sure on the northern section, but there are some prospects we could say in this area. Like, what advice? Because we've seen some of them play, and like there's a big live arm in Visalia that
and we just saw one yesterday.
Yeah, we did. I guess my point, what I'm asking is like, from what you've seen, I mean, I could say from what I've seen, although I don't consider myself actually qualified to make those kind of statements towards kids, but for the most part, I think a lot of them need to go to where they've committed to college, and that's just me personally. Like, I feel like they're better off getting some more years under their belt. Now, I know that, Volchko and Visalia, I mean, that's different. And I don't know if, I'd say the same thing to him. Like, he's going to have an opportunity, I think, to go fairly early. But there's other guys, I feel like they might be better off going to the colleges they've committed to, personally. And I don't want to name names or stuff. There's plenty. There's a few prospects in our area, so... But having gone through the system and through all the process, and you've seen baseball in this area,
I just think these players that think that they're draftable or they're gonna get drafted, they need to probably go home, take a look in the mirror, look at their statistics, and say, is this good enough? Are my stats good enough to get me drafted? Are my stats good enough to play at the next level with a wood bat? Because you're potentially, they say every level you drop 30 points pretty much, So it's like, if you bat 330 in high school, I would think it was different. You go high school to pro ball, it's going to be a bigger drop.
And like equating it to now.
I'm equating it. I just think that it's just like this. I got to be a D1. I got to be D1. Now you're D1. Now it's like, I got to be drafted. I got to be drafted. I think that the mindset isn't where it should be. Like, yes, I wanted to go D1, but I also knew that, Fresno City was my best option to do that. When I was at Fresno City, my mindset wasn't on getting drafted, even though we did have scouts out there, and, fortunate if I had a great team around me that brought scouts out there. It wasn't just for me.
Yeah, you guys were loaded.
I got to prove my worth. But that wasn't my main focus. Do
you feel like if you were drafted out of high school, how quickly would it have been done for you, you think, versus the route you did take? Even if you would have signed out of city, like the difference from your high school career right into pro ball, or from city right into pro ball, and then obviously from ORU into pro ball. Like, I think the years you played collegiate baseball was ultimately the right move. Am I wrong? Or do you think out of high school?
I know I wasn't going anywhere out of high school.
I'm just saying, it was an opportunity.
Which is funny because I batted 420 in high school with 5 homers, and
that's not very good.
I wasn't even an All Valley player. But that's because everybody was good.
Well, that's why you're not in the Bullard Hall of Fame. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's another story. I think so. When I got drafted, my sophomore year, when it was deciding, do I go to ORU or do I go to pro ball, and I chose to go to ORU. That might be the only time where you look back and you say, I regret that decision in your life. That might be the only regret.
You think so? You call it regret, or do you feel like you were, instead of saying regret, do you think you were ready then?
I was ready then.
Because what you experienced at ORU, not a lot of people get to experience.
No.
So,
okay.
To use regret, to me, it's like, man, you've made some friends that you still talk to. Like, there's experiences there that you never would have had.
Let's say.
I'll make you make the right decision.
You make a great point. And in my years at ORU, I went super regionals, a game away from the college. I wouldn't
just the dorm stuff we talked about, like the experience.
Yeah.
Of, you know what I mean? Like,
I wouldn't trade that for anything. But
I'm just talking.
I'm talking about the best opportunity I had to make it to the big leagues.
Yes,
probably would have been if I signed after my.
And that's what I'm asking, because I feel like
it was with the Mariners. There was no first baseman. I was 20 years old. Coming off 2 All-American years.
Productive seasons on good teams that, you know what I mean?
I felt like I was ready baseball wise. Now, responsibility wise, being on my own, I don't know. My first plane trip was to Oral Roberts on my visit, so I never left the state on a plane. That was my first time there. Did I grow up a lot at Oral Roberts? You're damn right I did. Did I learn a lot about myself at Oral Roberts? Hell yeah. But baseball wise, I was ready.
Yeah. And that's guys when I'm at. Like, and that's why I don't know if some of these kids are. Like, I'm seeing tweets.
Well, that's why I say go look at your numbers. Is that good? Is that good enough right now? Do you think that can play
with a wood bat?
With the wood bat, with guys. Now, we don't have guys sitting 90 to 95 in this section consistently.
Yeah.
We have one or two guys that can do that. You're going to be seeing that every single day. You're going to be seeing guys sit 95 to 100
There's
every
no day,
single
there's
day.
no day off.
No, there's no day off. And that's what I'm saying. If you can't absolutely tear up 80 to 85 in high school, what do you think you're going to do against 90, 95, 95 to 100? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I always bring up Jason Donald, because I played with him. I don't really have anybody else. Like, he absolutely destroyed high school baseball.
He made it look easy. Like, it was effortless to play high school baseball.
He had 560 with 12 homers.
And there's been those guys. I mean, not as easy as that, but the's been dudes that just
you look at Miranda might tell you he wasn't ready after it all said and done.
Maybe.
But he batted almost 500.
He dominated
with homers
around here.
Like, that's what I'm saying is the guys at Gatewood got, hit four. Guys hit for high average. They didn't hit 330. They didn't hit under 400. Guys that are ready. You're not, if you're hitting 300.
Well, even the recent guys, go look at, Coffee.
Coffee was almost 400, almost 500.
And there's been other guys, I know it's just we probably need to get some of the younger guys that have been drafted on here and a group of them just to talk about it. I think that'd be a fun conversation to have. The Hunter Bryans, guys like Gatewood, those guys. I mean, that went through it and
like you're leaving home.
Yeah,
you're on your own. And when I say you're on your own, you're on your own. Like, all they tell you is be here for a bus and, head to the field. You're on your own. And mommy and daddy aren't there. It's a lot harder than you think, that lifestyle. Like, are you ready for that?
They're going to weed you out. They'll just.
But you also have about 150 Latin and international players that are hungry, that have been doing this day in and day out their entire lives, that you have to compete against.
Well, yeah, this is what they've been working towards. I mean, everybody that gets there has been working towards it. That's kind of dumb to say, but.
Well, no, it's not dumb to say, because they don't have to go to school. They don't have extracurricular activities that they have to do. It's baseball 24/7.
Okay, I seen tweets around here because Drew Jones is playing down in Visalia with a rawhide, and people were pretty rough. I'm like, this kid's a first round pick, and they're already talking about how I'm like, well, he's right out the gate, and he's in Double-A,
18 or 19 years old.
High A ball. Like, I don't know, give him some time. You know what I mean? Let him get adjusted to it a little bit.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys, they go to rookie ball, and he didn't. So it's tough, man. It's really hard. I would, for high school guys, I would really reflect. I mean, if you're committed to a D1 and you're going somewhere, that might be, if you're not going to be a top 3 to 5 rounder, there's no point in going. Probably you can develop more college. You're going to be on the radar already for people. You're going to get bigger, stronger. So, I mean, I just don't think, if you're not absolutely in the conversation for player of the year in the whole entire section here, you're probably not ready or good enough yet. I'm not saying you're not good. I'm just saying,
no, there's plenty of good. We've been saying that there's plenty of good players around here. I just,
I don't see anybody getting drafted other than those two pitchers.
Fair.
I mean, we saw Featherston. He just was a little off yesterday. And I guess
Volchko
seemed, I guess he was off too, I guess, or Centennial was just that good. So,
Centennial's good. We'll get into that stuff a little bit, but
he's touched 97 he's had command. Featherston sits upper 80s, can hit the low 90s. He gets developed. He could be a mid 95 guy easily.
I thought the kid
with that body type.
I'm watching. Yeah, we were at the Buchanan Stockdale semi playoff game yesterday in our section, and I thought the kid from Buchanan was actually pretty good early. He looked like leaving the ball up a little later, and like around the 4th, 5th, he started getting hit a little bit more. But he started out, pretty good. I don't know how old Zach is. He a senior?
I don't know.
No. Before we get into some of that high school stuff, though, the other thing, big league, not big league, but this was college wise. You've seen celebrations. I saw one on Twitter the other day of a high school kid hit a double, got to second base, and did every move under the sun, and got tagged out when his foot came off the bag. And it's like he was just shocked. And what the camera didn't show, what I wished it would have, is the walk back to the dugout.
I don't know. Was that the 3rd out?
I think it was too.
I don't know what I would have done. It's a little excessive.
Some of it is definitely excessive. So, college baseball. This happened in the AAC tournament. An ECU player, East Carolina player, was ejected, and I think
the hot dog.
It was something similar. Yeah, East Carolina star pitcher ejected from AAC tournament game for bizarre reason. The Pirates were gonna. It was 2-0. They were down to South Florida. Okay, and their starting pitcher was not going to pitch the whole game. They already had what they were going to do for the tournament. They had one of their guys, I guess is Gross. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Josh Gross. He was going to be used during the game, and the plan was foiled due to a bizarre sequence after Jacob Starling for ECU hit a bomb, which tied the game in the first inning or second inning, I think it was. Gross, the pitcher that they were going to use, their guy, was ejected from the game after he handed Starling a sandwich.
That was a hot dog.
It says sandwich.
I thought I saw the video.
When the batter came around the bases and back to the dugout. Now, did he hand it to him before he got to the plate? Or
no.
In the dugout?
He hit the plate. They're going for their celebration, and when he got to the team, he handed him.
I thought
it was a hot dog. They said, but a sandwich hot dog. That's another thing. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I mean, it's
2 pieces of bread and some meat.
Poll question. So he was ejected.
Yeah, he was ejected.
He has to miss another game on top of it.
I think so.
So maybe we should tone it down a little bit.
No, the college thing was no props, right?
Yeah, no props.
So
and the umpire deemed it a prop.
So what if hey, who's to say it's not? Is it a prop? He just handed him. Why does he need a fucking sandwich? He's in the game. What are you giving him a sandwich for?
I don't know. I didn't see it
because he sandwiched it. I don't know.
Well, they were down 2-0 and they hit back-to-back bombs to tie the game up. But I just was like, come on, man. We are. It's like the dude with the 7+ ERA from Gardner Webb bowing up his chest, and it's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyways, it just interesting stuff out there as the season. College baseball gets further into the playoffs. We'll probably talk more college and definitely pros as the high school game ends. High school baseball in our section is coming to a close. The final games will be this weekend. D1, like we said, Buchanan knocked off Stockdale, and the Road Warrior Centennial Hawks beat Redwood at Redwood. I believe that was a 8-1 or 8-2 final.
8-1. Yeah.
I don't really want to pick teams, but were you kind of surprised at how this playoff format's turned out? There were some lopsided scores. There was, I don't know. Some of the scores were close. Did it play out how we thought it was? The D1 teams ended up losing in Division II.
I don't know.
I don't see. It doesn't change the fact that
I didn't see anything wrong with the 4 final teams in D1. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about the home field advantage thing with the Stockdale game. Is it different
if they were a 2 seed instead of the 3 or 4, whatever they had?
They definitely came out flat. That's for sure.
Yeah, you throw up 5 in the first 2 innings. That's tough for any team to come back from.
6-3.
Was it 6?
Yeah, 6-3. So for the next 7 innings. They shut them out.
give them credit. They battled back. It looked like Featherston has settled in.
Yeah.
Got real good late. They tied the game. Had an opportunity to win. It's almost kind of like what could have been early, just some miscues on defense. And, they had opportunity, first and second, no outs with a guy, couldn't get a bunt down. And that, I think, next guy base hit or something like that. And, instead of scoring 1, we're scoring 2. There was just opportunities that they had.
And they botched some balls on defense and
didn't capitalize on. Buchanan did what they did. Played sound defense. It's going to be a good matchup. Buchanan's always a tough team. They've been in the finals. They've got a couple guys that have seen some playoff baseball. So, again, the D1 final is Centennial and Buchanan. D2 sees Bakersfield Christian play Cabrillo, who I don't know much about Cabrillo. Obviously, they're a decent ball club. They beat some good teams and are playing for a section title, so congrats to them. BC I got to see early, and that's just a tough team on the mound for anybody to face. And I think if people said it throughout the season, they could have competed in Division I, so we'll see how that goes. But that final in D2 will be Bakersfield Christian and Cabrillo. D3 is going to be a fun one. Your old teammate, and I know Coach Underwood here at Madera is a big fan of. Kingsburg will be playing as the 1-seeded versus number 2 Dos Palos. Leonard Davis is the head coach over there at Dos Palos, one of your teammates, guest of this show. How are you excited for him?
I'm really excited. I want to know what time that game is.
I don't know if how are they doing that? I don't even know the format.
I don't either.
Thursday, Friday. I saw somebody said, the game tomorrow. I'm like, what? That's Thursday. Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it. I have to look it up.
I don't think they'd have a game Thursday.
No, they usually do Friday, Saturday, and included in 2 days. But it's going to be at the High A ballpark in Visalia, California. Rawhide. I don't even know what it's called. It's got a name.
Rawhide.
Is it Rawhide? Mm-hmm. Okay. D4, the Liberty Madera Ranchos, as the 1 seed will take on Emmanuel. Liberty's good. I don't even think Liberty's, just be honestly, I don't think they're a Division 4 team. Their schedule was pretty tough. They had some good D1 wins early, a couple D2 wins. That's a good job out there, good program. Consistently, they're always in the hunt for whatever division they're playing for. So congrats to those guys. Again, taking on Emmanuel, who had a walk-off win, I believe, to win over Reedley to win their semi game. And then another Road Warrior, D5, 13, East Baco, will be taking on Fireball in the Division 5 final. And Orange Cove in D6, who knocked off a longtime player that I coached and got to coach with, Brian Rubicaba, is the head coach at Matilda Torres. They could not hang on. I was bummed to see that they fall in the semis, but congrats to him and a good season. Hopefully they'll be back there. But Orange Cove will take on Woodlake. I've heard a bunch of really good things about Woodlake. You don't hear a lot of noise or people talking about D5, D6 teams, but I've heard a lot of things about Woodlake, so that's awesome. The stages are set. We'll have some section titles or section champions, and it is section champion, right? We got to stop saying Valley champs, right? No, do you care anymore?
I don't care.
You heard it here.
I mean, whatever. Section, Valley.
It is what it is. So that's your lineup for your section title games in the CIF. Dude, how do you feel about, because I saw this, the Southern section's done. There's teams, I think the D1 Southern section team was Jay Sarah.
They're sat out. They're sitting out.
They're dropping out of the state playoffs. How do you feel about that? Like he says that their last game, there's only one dog pile. And I don't know if that's because kids are going to college summer leagues or I don't know if you still have an opportunity to play more to win a state championship. Or would you? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a fan.
Well,
it's hard to get there.
But you did it after winning a section championship. I'll say a section for you. After winning a section championship, having a dog pile, go through all that adrenaline, and then having to come back Monday and get practice and get ready to go to a state playoffs. How was that for the team? I mean, was the team looked worn out?
You could tell. You could see it. Just to be able to get back up to this, it was a challenge. Yes. But they wanted to win.
I'm not saying they didn't want to win, but there's almost a sense of we accomplished.
Yes, absolutely. And I think we've talked about that. I think we said that on here. Like, this was icing on the cake to go play more baseball and try to win a state and like be a part of the first ever state playoff, to host why not take advantage of those things? And it's good for the program. It's, fun for the kids. Obviously we didn't get it done. It is a challenge though. And it was noticeably, it says something we noticed that the kids, it just wasn't the same level of energy after winning a section title. I just felt like if there's an opportunity to keep playing and go and win something else,
I don't believe in the one dog pile thing either.
Right. I mean, well, if you win your conference, you're not going to go to the NC2A tournament. There's only one dog pile.
Well, I mean,
you guys dog pile when you win your conference.
I mean, we didn't.
Well, some do.
Oral Roberts does not.
Some do.
That's against Oral Roberts because we're supposed to win that. We did in the regional because it was the first time we ever won a regional at Oral Roberts. And then we did at City when we beat San Mateo in a walk-off. Casey Perry walked it off, and we won. We were going to the Final Four. We dogpiled for that too. Sometimes it happens. You know what I mean? Like and I think it happens when your team is cohesive and you understand what just happened. I think there's a time and a place for a dog pile when it's warranted. Because we probably shouldn't have. I mean, San Mateo was good. We probably shouldn't have won that game, but there was 2 outs with nobody on. We were down by 1 or 2, and we fucking won the game. So, I mean, and nobody had their heads down, and it was crazy. It was ridiculous. We also dogpiled kind of. No, we didn't dogpile. They just fucking fucked me up after my walk-off in the first game of the season. But, I mean.
Are you sitting out? Or are you going to go play?
I'm going to go play.
Are you going to leave it up to your team at least?
I would leave it up to my team, but
and maybe they did. I think it did say the kids were like, "Nah, we're good. We're good."
And if they're good, they're good.
Yeah, then you know what I mean?
I don't know what to say. But maybe they don't like the format for state playoffs either, because then you have teams go to the open division and the Division 1, and then you have the Division 2 champion in our section go play D4 state champ. Like that stuff doesn't make sense.
So I can tell you, when we played in 21, we were in Division 2 for the state champion or state playoffs. We beat Arroyo. They were at large in the Division 3 state playoff.
Yeah,
so they weren't even in the same division as us as state playoffs.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is, but you're right. Maybe that is a contributing factor.
Maybe they don't want to go to the open division, or I don't know.
And maybe the kids are like, nah, we won this. Our goal was this. Like, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to go out with an L. Let's go out with a dub. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just thought if there's an opportunity to go win another championship or whatever, let's go do it.
Yeah, but then again, I guess they won, so it's not like teams going to the playoffs that shouldn't. I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because
they earn the right to be in the state playoffs.
Like if you get to, so these teams that are playing here in our section, I believe all of them will at least get a bid to a state playoff game, win or lose. I believe that's what it was in 21. It could be different now. I'm not sure, but
it's a lot of teams.
It's a good yawn. Right?
Sorry.
We'll wrap it up.
We'll get a short nap today.
We're getting.
It's my Monday. All right? It's my Monday for work.
Getting closer. We'll finish with this. The Fresno State Bulldogs are hosting the 2023 Mountain West Baseball Tournament. I've been saying at B&B just because at Biden.
You know what I hate?
Biden Field at Bennett.
I hate when they're like the Pete. Have you been noticing that?
I've seen it a couple times.
We're at the Pete. No, you're not at the Pete. It's not just Pete Biden. All right. B&B sounds better, but it's like, just say it. Pete Biden Field at Bob Bennett Stadium.
Starting tonight.
Have some respect.
Yeah. Damn right.
I mean, they earned that shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be Pete Biden Stadium at Bob Bennett, or Pete Biden Field at Bob Bennett Stadium at, Bates All Clubhouse. I don't know, They're going to have to put his name on there somewhere.
I mean, yeah, we're a little late on the statues over here, too.
Yeah, there needs to be. But we need funding. We need money.
Yeah, well,
I wonder how much that is.
A statue?
Yeah.
I don't know. Art department make something? They got an art department there? Got to have something. Use it in house.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Use
like
it in house.
or like
Why are we subbing this shit out?
not wood shop, but
shop class.
yeah, metal shop.
Yeah, welding.
Weld.
We got it.
Weld a fucking statue for your project.
Yeah, it means even more.
Yeah, then it came from the students.
Exactly.
You had to pay shit.
The Dogs. The tournament starts Thursday. Game 1 is between San Diego State and Air Force at 1:30, followed up by the Fresno State Bulldogs, number 4 seed playing number 1 San Jose State. Again, seed, the number doesn't matter. I mean,
well, no, okay, so
it matters as far as how they order the games, but as far as how teams are playing right now, the seed doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't. You know what's frustrating to me, and we talked to Ovi yesterday. Why do only 4 teams go?
Yeah, I was going to bring this up because the WAC tournament,
SEC has 12.
Our fans of the Sacramento area.
The ACC has 11.
Sac State didn't make the tournament in Arizona this year for the WAC, but there was 8 teams in the WAC. I think there's how many teams are in the Mountain West? 8,
7
or 8, 7 teams.
Why can't all 7 go? There's only 7.
Or 6.
I mean, I know Ovi said that they used to have more go, but they said it was stressful on the pitching. But that's why all these tournaments have started yesterday and today rather than Thursday, Friday.
I think they
started earlier in the week.
I was looking at the WAC. The WAC started yesterday, but theirs goes all week. They all go all week.
But I mean, even if you did all 7 and 7 plays 6, 5 plays 4,
or take
1,
6
2, and 3,
and have 6 play 7 as a play-in or something like that.
Yeah, they play in for the
So at least everybody's got an opportunity to do it. I don't know.
I just feel like it's just, but that's another thing where it's
rewarding bad seasons.
Well, that's another thing where we're on Spaces the other night. We're arguing about him barely making it in. How hard is it to make it in then when only 4 teams get to go out of 7? That's pretty damn hard.
Well, and 2 of them have under 500 records.
Yeah,
like Fresno State. If you go look at them, I mean, they're 2 back of first. The series between New Mexico and Air Force.
If they won 1 New Mexico game and 1 Air Force game, they're tied for first.
So I mean, it's not like they were out of it, or it was the conference itself was actually fairly competitive. Like
and it's just like
I mean, they almost won 30 games.
I know. That's why it's just like thinking about it now, even after like the arguments and stuff on Spaces. It's just like, how could you even like think that he doesn't deserve to be back after the season that they had and how strong?
I mean, I get it. You got to ask the questions. That's,
do you though?
Well, yeah. I think most journalists, you got to ask those questions. I get it. But not,
maybe do your homework.
Sure, that's fair to say too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
we're biased. Well, I mean, we're not afraid to admit it though.
But I'm not just saying that just because it's Ovi. Yeah. I mean, like, really look at how hard it is to do what he does.
Well, and look, the Mountain West is really only going to get one opportunity for a team to get in the tournament, and that's the tournament winner.
Yeah.
Where most of these schools are going to have an at-large bid, or these conferences are going to have a couple teams. Like, what was I going to say? Is Stanford going to be a host?
Well, that's another thing. You go to the Big West, Cal Poly might not get in. Long Beach State might not get in. Like, there's teams that might not get in, and you're looking at Fresno State that
you have to win.
But I'm saying, like, people look at Fresno State as a failure if they don't get in. But we talk about how good these California how many California colleges we have. A lot USC, UCLA, those schools, we don't even know if they're going to even get in.
Yeah.
Like, so it's even harder to get in. And we're just like, I don't know. That's why I just think people just need to look at.
Well, I think, now is kind of time to put up or shut up. If you're a fan, Dogs are playing tomorrow night at 6:00. I've posted the links on our Twitter and Instagram to get tickets, parking passes, everything you need to show up at the ballpark. And either we show up in big numbers or we don't. And those that don't, I mean, I don't really what we have to say, either you're in or you're out. So we need to be there. We need to fill up the ballpark. Again, tomorrow night, Fresno State's opening game in the Mountain West tournament is versus San Jose State. Good ball club. The Fresno State was 2-4 against them during conference play. But close games. It's going to be a good game. All of them are going to be good games. All good teams. Dogs the Dogs are playing really well right now. They close out the season hot. Do you think not playing Monday maybe helped them a little bit, give them a little rest? I mean, now they've been off since basically Saturday. So they're going to be...
Well, so is everybody else,
yeah.
though.
Well, they played conference games on Sunday. Some teams still had conference series this weekend. I don't know. I thought they ended Sunday. So really, you're adding to just another day.
Yeah, I think they're all right. I mean, well, they played Thursday, Friday. They didn't play Saturday.
I mean, we
Sunday.
assume Eshawn's going to be the guy going game one, followed by Angelo. I don't know. I haven't gotten an update on Jake Dixon, but he was supposed to be ready, hopefully, this time to come out through the tournament. So if he's available, that's another boost to the bullpen or even on the starting side of things. But, again, the Dogs have an opportunity. I can't tell you when the last time they hosted a tournament here.
I don't even know.
So, again, if you're out there listening, watching in the Fresno area, get out there and support these guys. It'd be nice to have a big hometown crowd to open up the tournament. I'm just happy they got the opportunity and they earned it. They earned their way in. Mm-hmm. It wasn't given to them just because they were the hosts. So excited to see that. Your ORU Roberts. Your ORU Roberts. Your Oral Roberts alumni.
Eagles.
Golden Eagles.
Ranked 10th in the country.
Are they supposed to run through this tournament or what?
Yes.
We got to shout out your alumni. I can't not bring it up.
That's fine. You don't have to.
No, it's cool. I mean,
I shouted them out yesterday on they didn't even get a fucking like or retweet from. We'll see how they end up. 15 win streak.
But is that a conference it's the same thing as the Dogs?
Conference.
But I'm just saying, like, the winner's the only one that's going to get a shot to the round group of 64. You got to win.
Normally, yes.
They're not going to get an at-large.
I don't
team.
know.
Like,
I don't know if they would being ranked so high though. Like if they lost and didn't win the tournament, being ranked 10th,
they might get in.
They might get in still. What I do want to see is I want to see them as a 3 seed or even a 2 seed because they've always been a 4 seed. Or Roberts, no matter what, has always been a 4 seed. They win their conference every year. They're always a 4 seed. I thought the last couple of years they should have been a 3 seed. They somehow, get smacked down. But with the record they have and being ranked 10th, if they blow through this tournament, I think, they're going to have close to 45 wins. They need to be a 2 or 3 seed.
I was thinking about this in the high school side of things because people have talked about how our area is down. And I don't, it's making an excuse is what it is. And I don't want to, but like I'm trying to be realistic, right? Because we've seen some high school baseball in our area and I've heard it through other areas. People message us all the time and we'll hear stories about, other areas of the country where baseball seems down. Do you think COVID, like that year away of not being able to do anything, I'm just talking about this group of older kids, they essentially had like a year off where they couldn't really get as much in, even game-wise. Do you think that, because you see some of these younger kids, and it's like, it's kind of, in our area, kind of carried by the younger class. Seen a lot of really good underclassmen in our section. And I'm just wondering if COVID kind of played a role in why baseball right now is down 3 years later.
See, I don't think so because the only people that thing really hurt were the seniors it happened to by taking their senior year away, whether that be college, high school.
Exactly.
It's been freaking 3 years since that happened.
I know I'm saying, but maybe the lack of being able to play as a freshman, sophomore is not contributing to where they are struggling as seniors. Am I just making an excuse?
But they still played. You don't think people were out there playing summer ball that year, or they were going to their travel ball workouts and stuff? They were still getting together. Stuff was still going on. You could go hit in your backyard. You could go play catch with your dad. You could go all the shit we used to do. You know what I mean? Like you can go play wiffle ball with your buddies still. I mean, there's things that you could still do. Now they weren't playing games, but we've also heard a lot of things that's what's hurting players too, is only playing games. They're not learning the fundamentals or, being consistent with their swings in the cages and stuff like that. So I don't feel like COVID did hurt what we're seeing now. I don't know. I just think
I'm making an excuse basically is what
I mean, but that's your opinion.
Well, I'm asking.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's just down. I think it's just and all over everywhere. I think college
and nobody's told me that or like said that. I was just thinking about it. Like I think it was yesterday. I was just driving. I was like, man, I wonder if like these kids the season got shut down, then the world shut down. You couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. Like you could still go outside and play catch. You could still hit in the back, or you could still go. I guess you could. Like you just
but all these seniors that were freshmen have had fall,
3 years,
spring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I feel bad for like the 2020 kids that pretty much didn't get to finish their senior year and then didn't get to play baseball until the spring of their freshman year.
Or those college guys that
like,
were, the one I think of is Zach Presno.
Yes.
Like Zach Presno was on
COVID
a fucking tear his junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And had that season finished, there's no way that dude's not getting drafted early.
Yeah.
And, I know he had another year to showcase himself when he came back.
But it was a COVID season.
Sure.
And they didn't have a fall.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I think that's where I'll give a year, maybe a year and a half of it.
Well, and it's Division I baseball. We're not talking about high school baseball now at that point.
Yeah.
It's definitely much more of a challenge, especially where, his name was out there too. You know what I mean? They had the book on him a little bit more. Some guys had stuff on him. So I was just curious. I was thinking about that. And like I said, I don't want to make excuses, but just a thought I had. I don't know if people out there may agree or disagree with that, but just something I was thinking of. Again, tonight, the Dogs, 6 p.m., taking on San Jose State. We got to show out. Again, all the ticket information. Go hit up our social media accounts. Everything's there.
You got to elevate.
I mean, listen, that's what I'm saying. Put up or shut up. Let's go.
I just hate that hashtag now. Elevate.
I haven't done it yet.
It's all no.
I haven't.
Fresno State sports have all been doing it.
I haven't hashtagged it. I forget about that.
Once you elevate those,
I just want to win right now.
Pocketbooks.
I just want to win right now.
Yeah.
Let's just win. Let's get in the tournament. That's it. That's all that matters. Again, good luck to all the high school programs. Congrats on the teams that made it all the way through. Good luck to the Dogs. Let's get ready to go and support these guys, this coaching staff, all these players. It's going to be fun. Hopefully the weather should be pretty good. That's it for me, man. You got anything else? No? Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, that is another episode of the Hit or Die podcast.
Hit or Die.